All right, what's up, everybody? I'm just gonna drive a little bit. I kind of feel like talking. Um, the topic of dragons has been coming up a lot recently, and just kind of watched a video on the mythology, the history, the transitions from serpents to dragons, and you find them in every culture, in every mythos, and it's pretty fascinating stuff. And what I kind of want to talk about with dragons is that I want to look into the philosophy behind it and the symbolism. Because, yeah, it's mythos and there's a chance dragons could have existed. We can get into the whole science. But what I'm really interested in is the symbolism and the meaning behind a dragon, right? And what I've learned lately and the knowledge I've been diving into would be the four archetypes of the male psyche, and that would be the king, the warrior, the magician, and the lover. And I've talked about those before. I don't want to go too deep into those, but also what I've realized, linking the archetypes, seeing them as tools on how we go about our lives and how we solve problems and how we offer value. The warrior protects, the king provides, the lover influences, and the magician, understands and has that plan. So, also what I want to tie in is the elements. So you got fire, you got air, you got water, you got earth. And these elements comprise our entire reality. All phenomena is, a composition of the elements. But also what the elements represent are principles and characteristics of matter, of the world, of our behavior. And what I mean by that is earth is rigid and durable, right? It can protect, it can reinforce, it has that stability and order. Then you look at water, which regulates, cleanses, filters, purifies. Then you have fire, which warms, which provides energy, power, passion. And then you have air, which provides direction. And, the magician relates really well with air because the magician will provide you that plan. The magician knows what to do and where to go. And this is what I'm trying to get into, is tying in these elements with the archetypes. So like the way I see the king, right, is I would tie the king into fire. And, the archetypes have a composition of all the elements, but the one that stands out the most, the highest concentration, I would say the king has fire, right? The king is at the very center of the kingdom. He's the hearth. He provides that symbol, that ideal that everybody gets around and protects and is influenced by, And then you look at the lover, the influencer, the adapter, like water. You put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. Water can flow, water can crash. So the lover is like water. Then you have the warrior, which obviously would be earth, right? The warrior is going to put on some armor. It's going to make a sword, a shield. It's going to slay the demons or the nefarious forces, the enemies, or it's going to protect the king and the kingdom and everybody else. Provides that structure and that stability. And then the magician, like I said, is air. He's going to provide that guidance, that understanding. He's going to pull thoughts out of the air. It's almost magical, right? We always see wizards and magicians flying and casting spells and messing with the weather, right? So like I just see air with the magician. Now, the reason why I brought up dragons and what I wanted to tie in to with the dragon, the elements, and the archetypes is what I think the dragon actually means and what it symbolizes is the mastery of all the archetypes and all the elements. And what I mean by that is if you look at a dragon, what do they have? They have really impenetrable scales, super durable scales, which would be earth, right? Now, they also were serpents, and they have long bodies, so they can actually swim in the ocean. There's a lot of mythos that comes out that the dragons actually can go into the oceans and come back out. So dragons are all up in that water, right? And then you look at air. Dragons can fly. They have wings. And most of all, obviously, dragons can breathe fire. So this, like, I get goosebumps thinking about that, because a dragon is a fucking master of all the elements. Another word I like to call it is a sage. You know, being able to adapt to every situation. If you need to pull out a warrior and protect, or to destroy, you can pull out the warrior. If you need to pull out the king to offer that inspiration, to symbolize something, to have that ideal, to create a business, do anything, you can pull into the king. And then if you want to follow through with all those plans and those inspirations and those desires and passions, you pull out the magician and you create a plan and you figure out how to do it practically. And then with the lover, you know, you become adaptable, you become an influencer, socially adept, you know, you just always know what to say or how to approach a social connection or a network. You know, the most successful people in this world are fucking dragons and sages, because they can pull those 4 archetypes at any second and they'll know which one to pick. So I think there's a 5th tool, or a 5th level you could call, with the archetypes, and that would be the dragon. And even further, you can mix those archetypes, you can hybridize them. You could be a king and a warrior, you could be a lover and a magician, you know. And if you're really, really good and you're really adept and you know your shit and you're on top of it, you can reach that dragon state, that sage state, you know, and you become dangerous. So just kind of wanted to go over what's been on my mind, and, you know, all the information I've been coming across. Dragons are just so interesting, man. And then even further in the hero's journey, you look at every story. Where is the climax and where is the gold always found? In every story, it's in the cave guarded by the dragon. Gold and abundance and success and all things worthy that we seek is where the dragon is. So we might not have to kill the dragon. We can actually become the dragon, or we can ride the dragon. And what the dragon is that mastery of the 4 archetypes, the 4 elements. So thank you for listening.